My 700-gallon planted aquarium housing 30 red-belly piranha recently faced some extreme problems. The soil that was feeding the plants became exhausted, no longer feeding the plants, and we ran into algae issues. I caught this relatively soon, but arguably not soon enough. I had one thing in mind. We have to save the plants and we have to save the fish. Realistically, dosing the tank, adding root tabs, and many other solutions were not plausible or practical in this case. You have to remember that this tank is 8 feet long and is 5 feet front to back. I found myself draining the tank in an effort to remove all the plants and all of the fish to simply save them and, well, do something that's absolutely insane that you're not expecting. But if you want to know in advance, consider joining the members only of this channel, or known as Only Fins, so you'll know and follow along in a different way. First thing I had to do was find a place to put the plants and the piranha while we can fix this problem. I decided I'm gonna have to shut down my saltwater 180-gallon aquarium, move that lionfish to a smaller 60-gallon, as well as his macro algae for the time being. Drain the tank, clean it completely, fill it back up with fresh water, and attach a fresh water filter to it. As the tank is draining, I started to try to catch them with a large net when the water got low, but it proved to be impossible. I couldn't see them, and they were hiding amongst the plants, making it virtually impossible for me to see where they were, but I did end up catching a couple. I realized at this point I'm going to have no choice but to drain the tank lower and start removing the plants. Removing them isn't as easy as it sounds, but it's actually quite simple. Yet we have up to 30 red-belly piranha swimming around in there, so we gotta be careful. Reach your hand in, grab chunks at a time, and hope you come up with not only the plants, but all of your fingers as well. I started at the front of the tank, which is all dwarf sag. The back is all cryptocorin. Okay, so I don't think anybody realized how much plants were in here. I barely got the dwarf sag out. It was over 5 gallons, and it was like a heavy pail. I've moved a total of, where'd they go? They jump out? No. 2 piranha, meaning I have at least another 20 to go. Question, where are they? They're in the plants. The only way I see this going forward is if I remove all the rocks, almost re-engineering this. Remember when it was just all the plants in the background was just nice white sand, but the dwarf sag decided to if I remove all the rocks and maybe I remove the roots, maybe I can grab the plants, rip them out. But the piranha are back there, and there's at least 20 of them, and every once in a while I hear them slopping and flapping around. I can see them moving around back there. Oh man, the only way I can get to the plants back there is if I get in the tank. I don't know how tonight ends. It doesn't end well for me. Wish me luck. Hey look, a tetra. And I'll get them. Mind you, once all the plants were removed, I realized they were in far worse condition than I had previously thought. Keep in mind, we're looking through 5 feet of water. You can't really inspect the plants that close. I started with the dwarf sag because, well, it's in the front. I'm gonna have to remove it anyways, and I gave most of it to Tamara for her aquariums. Now you might think, well, Tamara only has a few aquariums in her little fish room, but you know me, I got big plans coming up, and they include Tamara as well as her fish room. Everything's gonna get bigger. Next came what I felt was impossible and incredibly dangerous. Try to find the piranha amongst the plants, these little velociraptors with mouths full of rows of teeth, and incredibly strong bite force. The only way for me to do that was remove the plants slowly and hope to find them. I couldn't just reach my hand in and grab a mitt full of plants because I might even grab a piranha at the same time. Those plants only cover about 12 square feet of the tank, meaning that within every square foot, the odds of having 3 piranha were pretty high. So I started slapping the plants before I'd take some out, and it worked sometimes. Every once in a while, I'd grab the body of a piranha. You've never heard me scream like a girl, but when that would happen, I did. I'm so glad that I wasn't recording audio and I was focused on catching these piranha. Luckily, I was able to get all of the piranha and all of the plants out of it. So now to catch all the piranha took me some time, and I used this big heavy-duty net that's typically used for bass fishing. It's nylon reinforced, but you'll notice that they chewed it everywhere. And this is like a $50 net. So look, holes everywhere throughout it. That's the big problem with moving big piranha is they do have big teeth, and when they panic, they go ow, 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 just biting through everything. They got through everything. There's one, and the holes are big enough so they just fall out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 massive holes that the fish simply just bite through. So that was a challenge moving them all. With all of the plants and fish removed, I began draining the tank here. As you can see, a massive amount of substrate. This is going to take a full day just to kind of clean up, but that will get this tank ready for its next stage of what we're going to be doing. I will say there was more plants in here than I thought, and a massive amount of shrimp as well, and tetras. The fish were put in the saltwater aquarium, and all of the plants. This is why I needed to save these plants. It's massive amounts of incredibly healthy and really valuable, if you think about it, with the sheer amount that's in here. But if I didn't do this, we would have probably lost every plant in there and then been left with the piranha and the piranha alone. The piranha are bigger than I thought they were going to be, and I have more than I thought I had. It's been difficult to count them, and even more difficult to catch them, but I think there's 25 left, meaning the one that we lost due to them kind of cannibalizing it would have been 26, and then potentially when we started there was around 30 of them, so over time they kind of just ate each other. But now you can see them in a 180 gallon, and it looks really cool, but it's far too many piranha for one tank. With all of these plants in here saved and all the piranha in there, this is going to buy me time to do everything else that I needed to do, but I still need to rinse these plants off. I'm likely going to put them through a peroxide dip. The downside is when I replant them, I might have to deal with a little bit of melting, so the tank might not look that great at first. But this isn't all the plants. This is just some of it. Mind you guys, this tank's 6 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 2 feet tall. And these plants go everywhere throughout it. That's not all the plants we have, though. We also have all of this dwarf sage that we gave Tamara, and she's just floating it in a 70 gallon right now just to keep it alive over here and here. So she's got 2 70-gallon tanks just absolutely packed with it, and she's going to take most of it, and we're going to replace all the substrate in this tank, put a planted substrate there, which we already have up here. That probably won't be enough, but we're also going to cap it with some sand and completely plant this entire aquarium with dwarf sage, with this mountainous rocks in the center that we originally set up, because it looks amazing. So now you can see why we had to kind of do this. We weren't able to really save the plants or do anything in here, but to be fair, it ran for 2.5 years on substrate that's only supposed to last around 6 months, which gives me hope, because if I do this again and it's isolated own tank, I think I can get another 2.5 years out of it. We just have to figure out the stocking and make sure everything's getting along fine. I'll also admit that I've kind of misled you guys on what I'm actually doing with these tanks and where we're going to go with them and that sort of thing. But the fact of the matter is, I'd prefer that you didn't know and you just joined along for some jaw-dropping things that I have planned, as opposed to knowing what it's going to be and then thinking, oh, that's not what I expected. But what's to come next will not only surprise you, excite you, and blow your mind, but I think that you guys are going to say, Joey, you're a genius. And maybe you won't, but this has been the plan all along, you see. I've been kind of sidetracking you with other things that you thought I was going to do, but I wasn't going to do that. If you want to find out what I'm going to be doing next, make sure you give this video a like, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in those next videos. But I look forward to reading the comments about all of your guesses because, well, you're probably wrong.
What they say, yeah. Hear it all when they talk about me.